Well, everybody, on this Pet Talk Tuesday, we're going to talk about the value of pet insurance with local vet Dr. Lucas Candifer. And we're going to meet the most adoptable pet from the Buffalo Animal Shelter. And we have Karen Vizzi, who has brought along Cam. And Cam is a senior, you were saying, Karen.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Cam is 8 years old, approximately. He came to the shelter as a stray just before Christmas, and he is sweeter than pie. The volunteers are all fighting over him. We love him so much. He's such a good dog, and we want to see him. He's warm and fed, but he needs to be on a couch.
Yeah. And you were saying that he probably will be doing good in a home where he may be the only dog.
He'd probably be happiest as an only dog, but his interactions with other dogs are he tends to just want to ignore them.
Okay.
So he might
lives his own life.
Yeah, he might do well in a house with another mellow dog, but as usual, the shelter always requires a meet and greet with any dogs in the home just to make sure everybody gets along.
Okay, and he's going to need a little exercise.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy, right? He's got some pep in his step for an old guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, fantastic. That's Cam, everybody. And the shelter is open today.
Yes.
If you want to head on down for a meet and greet. Dr. Candifer, for people who are wondering about pet insurance, who should get it?
So it's a really good question, and really it depends on what you're looking for out of your pet insurance. Just like on the human side, there are a wide range of coverage options, and some people think they're covered for one thing, and unfortunately they're not. So pet insurance is a phenomenal idea. When your pet gets ill, the costs can be really expensive when we're trying to make sure we manage what conditions they have, especially chronic conditions, diabetes, kidney disease, and certain types of cancer. There's a lot of treatments that are out there that we want to make sure that are available, and sometimes without pet insurance, the cost is just too much for people to afford, and understandably so.
Right. Now, do they have to get it when they're a puppy?
So they don't have to get it when they're a puppy, but just like on the human side, when you're healthier and you're younger, your insurance is typically a little lower versus when you're much older and you're expected to have some conditions. Then we see that it becomes more of a burden cost-wise. So there is a website I always recommend people to go to. It's called PetInsuranceUniversity.com. There's hyphens in between each word. But a veterinarian was asked this question a number of times and said, she wanted to do a research and went through and said, make sure it covers chronic conditions and not just for the first year that you have diabetes. That could be a lifelong problem, and 1 year of coverage isn't going to get you too far. Coverage of cancer, coverage of heritable conditions, dogs that are prone to hip issues. They may say, we don't cover golden retriever because a lot of them get that issue. Knowing if you have coverage for that or not really helps you make sure you get what you want out of that insurance.
Do they give you a little card, just like people?
They don't give you a card typically. There is a little bit of paperwork involved, and the one thing I always make sure people know is that for almost every insurance I've come across, you pay initially and then they reimburse you. So it's not on the human side where you have your copay and then that you pay the extra afterwards. You're responsible for the bill ahead of time, and then they'll reimburse you once the paperwork goes through.
Okay, so I can understand. So that means all of the offices, it's no problem because people are going to pay you directly, and then they will get reimbursed from the insurance.
Right, and especially without knowing what's covered, making sure you talk to your veterinarian, say this is what we have, and they can help walk you through. This is what you expect long term, and make sure you have the right insurance. And insurance is great when you have a young puppy and they eat something that you need multiple very expensive surgery to remove. Then you're covered for that point. But just like on the human side, if you put $50 away a month for your dog, you'd probably have a good bank account for your dog, and you could take money out of that as well. So starting early really helps.
I remember Dustin Yerman, who's our normal volunteer, was saying that he has pet insurance for his dogs, and it saved him thousands on an operation he wasn't even sure he'd get covered for. So it can really, really be the difference.
No, it makes treating your pets much easier, and it just covers a lot of them cover a lot of things that really help you make sure you don't have to spend so much for your pet when they're ill.
Absolutely. Think about this in the new year and ask your local vet about different kinds of pets insurance that they would recommend. And Karen, thank you so much for bringing Cam. Cam is waiting for a brand new best friend over at the Buffalo Animal Shelter. All right, we'll take a quick break. We got lots more to do, so stay with us.